Wow, we're early.
Good evening. We're 2 minutes early. This is like unheard of.
Yeah.
Especially in the chaos, which is this week.
It's a busy week.
Yes.
A good
Welcome.
week.
Happy Thursday. Nicole from my team, Herman from my team. We
Captain
are
of the team.
in the middle of our 5-day riding boot camp, which is epic. It's so exciting. And we still have 3 days left. So don't miss out because it's very exciting. Tonight, Nicole has a plan because I'm maxed out. What's our plan for tonight, Nicole?
Well, this week has been a lot of like looking forward. What are we going to do this year? It's very exciting. But I just wanted to take a pause and a look back at 2024 because we didn't really do that last week. End of the year, we probably should have done a recap. And I was like, you've done a lot of stuff. Like we do a lot of stuff on the basis. Not everyone sees it because like some stuff is in the program, some stuff is in person, things like that. But what I wanted to do was just focus on the new things that Amelia has added to the world of Dressage for All. And I wanted to get a little bit of like the history on some of those things. What were some of your favorite things and things like that? And you guys can jump in, let us know if you participated in some things, let us know what was your favorite things. And then also if there are things that like you just didn't care for, you can let us know that too, because then we won't focus on them this year.
Right.
Okay. 2024 recap. If you're here watching live, let us know in the chat what your one word was from this morning's training. If you missed this morning's training, go watch it because the trainings are only available till next Wednesday. So make sure to watch trainings. And Nicole has a whole show them your scary page. I was like, really? We're gonna go over all of that?
Those are all the new things that you did this year.
Okay.
Like that's crazy. So first thing I wanted to talk about was webinars. Did you know how many free webinars you did this year?
How many free webinars? Let us know in the chat. Who has any guesses? Do you have any guesses? Because every Sunday, everyone's like, what are you doing?
Right, every Sunday. I know. So, I don't know. It's got to be a couple dozen.
Well, it was kind of an interesting number because 8 was the number of like unique webinars you did.
Oh my god.
But it was closer to like 17 or 18 when you think of the duplicates, right? Because you did connection a few times. You did flying changes a few times.
Well, I can't guess 8.
Yeah, 8. So they were goal setting. You did a PF webinar. You did a pirouette webinar.
Oh yeah.
Rider position webinar. You did a whole boot camp on the training scale. Contact and connection. You did a flying changes one, and then like a groundwork essentials one. So there was a lot of free education that went out, which goes into my next point. Do you know how many free YouTube videos you released this year?
Well, 52. Usually we do one every single Wednesday, but maybe we had some bonus ones. So I don't know. 70?
What do you think? Ron? How
I
many?
have, like,
Free YouTube videos. Are you counting the lives?
Not counting the lives. These are just like 12-minute short training videos that you're known for on YouTube.
70. Hannah says 52.
67.
67.
67. Yeah. So a few more extra ones thrown in there.
Yeah. We're almost to 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're at like 200 and...
So 299,032
Oh,
people.
come on. We need like 70 more subscribers.
That's it, 70?
No.
700.
700.
Yeah, 700. Yeah.
Come on, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
But it's kind of cool when you think about it because we were talking outside. This is how I was remembering it. You hit 100,000 people when the Barbie movie came out because we used that. We used that in the soundtrack for the music for when we announced it. So that's how I remember it. And that was summer of 2023. So
in a year and a half, you've more than doubled that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 4 years or whatever to get to the 100,000.
Yeah.
And then a year and a half, you've gotten nearly 200,000 more.
Dressage for all.
Which is really cool.
Comment in the chat. Dressage for all.
Then some other exciting things happened this year. You went to Aachen for the first time.
That was amazing. We got to see like all the top horses. We got to see Glamourdale, and that was amazing.
In person, yeah.
Good trip.
Yes.
The other thing is the Olympics happened.
Nicole got to go to the Olympics.
Yeah,
you got to go to the Olympics.
But then you also worked with USET and helped promoted and helped fundraise for the US team to get them to go to the Olympics. That was pretty great.
That's true.
on that same showing theme, you released a new free showing resource. We created a new PDF all about showing last year in February last year.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And so
Wow.
that went out, which is still available if anybody wants it. It's on the website.
Oh, Kate thinks we should go on to Shark Tank for our business. We're a self-funded business. That's why we work our butt off. Yesterday was New Year's Day, and Nicole, she's amazing. It was like, how many hours did we work yesterday? We worked like 16 hours.
It was a big day yesterday.
And then we had one of our websites broke, and Nicole had to do all this manual work. You know, a lot goes on behind the scenes, and that is one thing that I definitely am so grateful for this year is like my amazing team, like Nicole, Herman. You guys see like the front end of it, but you don't see how much work we put into the back end. And like putting on this boot camp, it's so amazing. Like it's so exciting to see so many of you like excited about your riding, and you're posting your goals, and we're all helping each other, and that's so fun. The amount of back end work that goes into making sure everyone has the links. We've gotten, how many support emails have we gotten this week?
Well, today we got about 300.
Yeah.
So
300
Because
emails.
There was a problem, and then it's like you got to fix
Yeah,
it.
or someone has a
sometimes,
question, or they can't find the recording, or they need help, and we love all of you, and we want to help all of you.
Yeah, and because there's a lot of people who have never done online learning before, right? So they're not sure what's best. They're doing it on their phone, or they're having trouble with the PDF, and so there's a lot of questions like that they just need a little extra help. But that also ties in nicely. The team has grown quite a bit. Like Herman, you're doing a lot more office hours now in the courses,
and he knows how to drive the computer.
Yes, it's
yeah, a funny story about Herman. So Amelia was away teaching a clinic, and he was supposed to do office hours. And so I texted him a couple hours beforehand. I'm like, just want to check in. Are you doing okay? And he texted me, and he said, well, how do you turn on the computer? And I panicked, thinking that he was like actually. And then he's like, I called him. He's like, no, I'm just pulling your leg, right? I said, okay. Hung up the phone. 10 minutes later, 10 minutes before the call, keep in mind, he phones me back. He's like, I can't open Zoom.
I got the computer on, but I couldn't do the Zoom.
But you managed.
Okay, if you don't know what office hours are, we also call them video review. For our Stride students, you can send in your video, and then myself or one of my incredible coaches, we actually like pull up your video on Zoom. It's so awesome. And then we like, hey, what are you working on? We have a little chat. And then we give you feedback and homework assignments. And everyone seems to love Herman. Let us know in the chat if you love Herman's feedback.
And it's the computer thing is the different. Like I know horses.
Yeah.
I've been around horses a long time, taking a lot of lessons. The horse part's easy. It's turning on the computer and then zipping back. And then, when I watch you do it and you're flying and you got 17 screens going and it's flying back and forth, and I'm like, oh, Wapner in 5 minutes, Wapner.
But you have a great way of just keeping things super simple and having a little bit of humor, and I think that that's important because this stuff is hard.
If you don't have a little sense of humor about this, I think suicide is coming because this stuff is so hard. You got to keep a sense of humor.
Okay, one of our Stride students, we did office hours. Herman and I sometimes do them together, which is very fun. And she was having trouble being assertive and getting her course going forward. And Herman told her, this is not a democracy. And she was like, I was out there riding my horse, and I was like, this is not a democracy. This is not a democracy.
And she made her horse do it.
Got him forward. Got him cantering.
Yeah, he's canters now.
Yeah, so. And Debbie loves your office hours.
And not only Herman stepping up to the plate with more office hours, but Nick has come on for office hours, which is great. She's also one of our coaches.
Nicole
she just doesn't live here, so she's not on tonight.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing too. There are people from all over the world. Like Dan is up where I am in Canada. Neve is over in Ireland. Dennis's here. Jenny lives. Where does Jenny live? Utah, right? We've got, and those are just the new people coming onto the team, right? Yes. And then Olivia's up in Seattle.
Are all over the world. Let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool how much the team has grown, and it's
the reach that we have, which I think, the world is a very large place, and it's so hard to find good help and find good training. And as much as we all have a love-hate relationship with technology, it's amazing that through the internet that we can help so many horses, right?
Yeah.
And so many people, but most importantly, the horses.
Yeah.
Well, and one other thing that's become really popular this year that you just started, that's been helping a lot of people, is the ride along podcast.
That one
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew. I know that.
We
We need you to do one. Please, will you do a ride along podcast? Let us know in the chat. Please, Herman, do a ride along podcast for us.
That's where I say out loud what I'm thinking when I ride.
Yes.
Oh, that could be scary.
It might have a different feel than Amelia doing
But
it.
like you're giving someone a lesson. Like sit up.
I
put
think
your
you'd be
hands
good
down,
at it
ride
because like
forward.
the
breathe.
you've got some really good footage of like I think you're riding Eleor doing the canter work.
Yeah.
And you talk through it really well, right? And so for those of you who don't know, Ride Along Podcast, it's where Amelia's riding a horse or working with a horse, and she's talking over what she's doing. So she's like, I'm about to do a transition. I'm sitting up tall. I'm thinking about this. I'm making sure my alignment is correct. And she's talking through everything that she's doing. And they usually have a theme, like, you know, one will be on rhythm, one will be on rider position, things like that. How many have you done now? Probably
A lot.
Probably 100 by the time
100. No.
I think so. Well, there's about 10 in each package, and there's about 7 or 8 packages, and then there's some extras. So I think it's close to 70 or 80 at least.
There's lots of votes for you.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at Saskatchewan. I'm looking at Saskatchewan and going, there's winter there.
Lots of it.
That's winter.
The weather here has been beautiful this week. Like
So
it's
yeah,
just been
it's
amazing.
winter time because of the date, but everybody was at the
Yeah.
beach yesterday on the 1st.
Beautiful. And Herman was hunting lobster. Show them your hand.
Oh heavens!
The things he does for lobsters.
Well, they're in the rocks, and you got to go fast, and then sometimes you catch some rocks in your hands.
He does make a delicious lobster risotto. So we had a wonderful.
How did you
client
like
party.
the lobster risotto?
It was good,
Did
but
you-
I will say that salad with the tomatoes won out.
That was Kim.
Kim,
That's one of my. That was,
awesome salad. It was. But speaking of that party, so this was the Christmas party. Amelia and Herman got.
We showed it last week, I think.
Got a very
Yeah.
lovely
We need to show it
present.
again.
since you
Show it.
brought it up.
This is like I was so embarrassed.
I think it's the greatest thing ever.
My knight in shining armor. There's more people here tonight, so probably everyone will laugh. Maybe we didn't show it. Maybe we just showed it.
No,
in
you
track.
did.
So it's a printed canvas for anybody at home.
Yes.
So I'm still interested in where you're gonna hang it in the house.
I don't know. I think it should maybe right back there, right behind our like professional Zoom background. We can add a little humor.
Speaking of these champions behind us, Amelia brushed over this year and kind of didn't talk about this very publicly, but she kind of won a horse show.
Because it was USC, it was the Region 7 and the CDS, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was both on him, and then second with the with the Kensington.
So basically, Amelia took Harvey to the fall championships, the Region 7 championships, competed in the Grand Prix, so the highest level, keep in mind, championships, all people qualified to go to this show. Then she's at the highest level, and she won.
On Harvey.
On Harvey. And that was just very exciting. And, you know, she kind of, you were very humble about it, but basically you won the whole, I was like, you won at the top level. Doesn't that mean you're the like you're the best? You won it.
It means it's a
It
good
was-
day.
Yeah.
It was
It was a good day. And Harvey is an amazing horse. And I've had Harvey since he was 5. And he's a horse that the first time I rode him, like I just knew, I was like, this is going to be a Grand Prix horse. He just was so sensitive and so supple and so soft. And he has such an amazing temperament and he tries so hard. And it's like, for me, that's what it's all about. It's about getting a young horse and developing the partnership and training them up through the levels. And, you know, yeah, like winning the Grand Prix, that was incredible. It was amazing. But it's so important to remember that it's about the journey. It's about like every single day, every single moment that I got to spend with him, every single challenge that we overcame, how we built the partnership and we built the trust. And to me, that's the important thing. And I think that's important too, as you're thinking about setting your goals for the year ahead, is really remembering that the satisfaction comes in the day to day. It's not just like, okay, I won a ribbon. Like that means nothing. It's like all the training and all the partnership building up to it.
It's the journey.
Yes. It's all about the journey.
It is, because it's a long journey. There's lots of ups and lots of downs.
Yes.
And the reason that horseback riding is so fantastic and it's so awesome is because the downs are so big. It's true. Like if it was just even keeled, right? But the highs are so high because the lows are low.
Yeah.
There's a lot of roller coastery with the horses. At least that's my experience.
Yeah.
I've been on top of the world happy and then just devastated.
But it's like, it's the passion that keeps you going, because you think, could you live? Like, how could you live without horses in your life? What would you do with all your time and money?
Go to Hawaii. Go diving.
I got no, because like my friends are like, well, you know, what are you going to retire? I'm like, what do you mean retire? I'll just be doing horses till I can't.
Well,
I mean, this is what I do. So in that sense, I'm already retired. I ride some horses. I go swimming.
Pretty good life.
It's all right.
Speaking of ups and downs, so one thing this year that we have just started doing in the last 2 or 3 months, which I think is really cool, but we are struggling with the technology aspect of it, is we got a Starlink. So for those of you who don't know, it allows you to have internet wherever you are on the planet. Which means that we can do live streams from the barn. So we've done a few where Amelia has been riding and actually talking you through what exercise she's doing live in real time while she's on a horse, which is pretty cool. But we've had a few bumps.
There's some glitches with technology. We don't have it all smooth yet.
Yeah. But that, that's part of what we're at the cutting edge of figuring out how to teach you online. And it's so exciting and it's so fun. And being at the cutting edge, like you're going to screw up and sometimes technology is going to fail you. But then once it works, it's so exciting. When I first started Strides, I started Strides in 2020 during COVID. And I didn't even know what Zoom was before COVID. Did you?
I did because I used it for school, but it wasn't nearly as robust.
Did you?
Me?
Anyways, so when I
didn't even write emails.
Yeah, you did. You did. Anyways, let me know if you knew what Zoom was before COVID.
I did not, for sure.
So COVID started and I couldn't like go and teach all my lessons. So I was like, well, how could I still help people? Like, how could I help people? This is like, the world is ending. Everyone is so discouraged and upset. So I started doing lectures on Zoom. And then I thought, well, could I get people to send videos in, and could we do that on Zoom? And at first Zoom wasn't good enough. Like I couldn't share a video on Zoom
because it would be pixelated or freeze. Yeah.
So that's something that's like new. It's amazing. Now we can pull up your video. You can see it. I can see it, and we can review it together. It's incredible.
Well, and that goes into another new thing we did this year, was that you actually took that process and created a course, Analyze Your Ride, document and videos to help you learn how someone can record their video, and then they learn how to analyze it themselves.
Yeah.
Which
that's what I just got off that call with our Stride students. So let me know if you enjoyed the Analyze Your Ride call. There were a lot of people there.
Yeah. But you developed that last spring. Yeah. Because I remember working on it in like May and June.
Yeah.
So it's been in rotation for a while, but it's pretty cool.
But that workbook is about helping you to train your eye. Like, because I was thinking back to the origin story of that, and no one ever taught me how to teach riding. Did anyone teach you how to teach riding?
No, but I did have some horrible experiences and learned what not to do.
Are those PG rated? Can you share them?
I had one in particular, make it personal, right? And just berate you and but not offer. And so that's what I try to do so much when I teach. What to do, because this particular person only would talk about how it wasn't an Olympic trot, you didn't do that, it wasn't right. But she never said, this is what you do. Like, put your hand here, put your left, like the game twist. She never said, put your hands like this and do this. Because if you do this, you'll get the result. Yeah. And so that has become such an important part of when I teach. It's like, do this thing. Yeah. And so, nobody taught me that. but I know what that isn't good, and you're stupid, and you're retarded, and you're ruining your horse does.
They definitely don't teach that.
How did you learn to teach?
Well, we in Canada it's a little different. We do have a little bit of education that goes into like the framework of lessons. So like you're supposed to always do like an overview when the kid comes in or the adult comes in. You're supposed to do a tack check, and to make sure that the kid, tightened up the girth and the bridle's on right. And then there's supposed to be like an objective for the lesson, and then you're supposed to have like a shaping plan where you talk what you do in your warm up, how it builds on what you do in the middle part of the lesson, and then you do a little bit of challenging thing. And so there is a structure that we're taught, but not necessarily like how it fits into the bigger picture of someone's riding development. That does come later in our educational series for coaches, but I haven't gotten through that because it's for I went down the judging route, not the coaching route as much.
But I also think that your judging education has helped you to teach because that's developed your eye.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, and it's interesting. Sometimes I bounce around. I was thinking about it the other day because I'd had a really bad ride. I had a low ride, as Ron was saying. I had a low ride, and I was like, I should just give up. I should just be a judge again. Like I don't want to think about anything else. And I find with myself sometimes I bounce around. Like sometimes I'm my top skill is being a coach, and then sometimes my top skill is being a judge, and then sometimes it's being a rider, and they kind of like float, but they're so interconnected. And like I'll come back from judging a horse show and I'll ride better because I've just watched 50 people not be able to do a 20-meter circle, right? And I've been able to see what they could need to do to improve. Yeah. Which also goes into something else we knew we did this year was the Train Your Eye segments. And so in previous years, you had done like static versions of this, whereas people had submitted videos, or not sorry, videos, pictures, and then you analyzed, this is the rider position. You can see how this football is going, like in the canter, you could see a 4-beat canter in a static image. And then you talked about what you need to do to improve and gave some exercises. And then we built on that in Strides this year, which is very exciting for me because this is something I did. And so we've been doing Train Your Eye segments in Strides where based on whatever the topic is for the month. So we just did one on effectiveness of the aids. And so I went through several videos of, okay, here's how you look for that and assess that and the formula for that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to learn, and it's also fun to develop your eye. And I think that also helps you to understand not only how to analyze like your own riding video, but also what the judge is looking at and what your trainer is telling you, right? That's why video or pictures is such a useful tool because your trainer can sit there and tell you all day, like, sit back, or your horse isn't round. And then you see a video and you're like, oh, yeah, my horse isn't round. I'm leaning forward.
Or mirrors.
We all do that.
Oh, yeah. I was just telling Patty yesterday because I was riding Junior and she was helping with Junior, right? And I was telling the story about when I was riding Ralph. And, she had the same comment you do. You might want to put your heels down because you don't know what you're not doing right. You know what you're doing, but like some things come up.
Or your proprioception. This is something that I've been like, I didn't realize I was doing this. Every time you've seen me ride since I've been down here, you've commented on my right leg. When I make left-hand turns, you're supposed to put your right leg a little back for the bend, which I think I do. And apparently I don't. So every day Amelia's like, you need to put your right leg back. I'm like, I think it's back there, but it's not. So that's something that is definitely on my list for the new year.
We all need lessons. We all need help.
I want to put my left leg back in my
Endless
flying
education.
change left.
Your left leg back and your left flying change?
When I'm on the right lead canter, I need to put my left leg. Yes, because I put my left leg on the horse's shoulder.
Oh,
bad. Terrible.
Well,
so
we need to work on our legs then, obviously.
It was so bad that even Sam saw it.
For
For those of you who don't know, Sam doesn't ride. He's just the husband of a rider. And he was like, I think her mom's leg's too far forward to change. So,
Yeah.
And then a few other things have happened this year. You developed a pirouette course, which is pretty cool.
That was cool. I shared all my special pirouette exercises.
Yeah, which is great. This one hasn't come out yet, but you have been working on a collaborative project with Ramon.
Our exercise book.
Yeah.
It's going to be epic. It looks so good.
It-
We're actually gonna like print a book
Yeah.
with our favorite exercises. And
It's in
Herman,
process.
like definitely one thing that I've learned from you is the importance of riding accurately and the importance and like how helpful it is when you're teaching to teach people certain patterns and certain exercises. So I do appreciate that from you.
I'm doing that right now with Kathy a lot, and she's starting to figure out, oh, you have to let go a little. You got a little of that to stay on the line of travel.
What are your favorite exercises?
Yeah,
They're in the book.
I was gonna say, and you can't share that. That's day 4 of boot camp. Don't give it away yet.
Oh yes, we still have many days of boot camp. By the way, I'm not done with my slides. I have to still finish those.
Well, we only have about 3 or 4 more things
Okay,
on the
good.
list. But the other thing you did this year was you went back to Horse Expo. It was the second year you went to Horse Expo and
that
taught
was
there.
fun.
So that was cool. And you did how many other clinics? I didn't have time to
Oh
count.
my gosh, I don't know. I traveled a lot. I went to Utah. I went to Montana. That was super fun. I went
Idaho.
to Colorado. I went to Idaho. I went to Texas.
Seattle.
Oh yeah, that was a fun symposium in
Oh, all you
Seattle.
guys went to that one.
Yeah, because Nicole and Olivia from my team were there. That was very
Because
fun.
we live up that way, so it
Yeah.
made sense for us to come.
But it's fun to, I love being home and riding, but it's also fun to meet you all in person and to work with different horses and rider combinations. I really enjoy that.
The other thing is you were featured a few times in a few different podcasts and media magazines, online magazines. So like Horse Network did a feature on you. Eventing Nation did a feature, which is kind of cool because you're not an eventer, but they obviously see the value of dressage, which is great. You were on the Heels Down podcast a few times, and this one also came out technically in the fall of 23, but that Sidelines feature,
Oh yes,
which was beautiful.
It's framed here in my office.
I
You
know.
can't see it.
It was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, if you have a chance to go back and read it, it's bridging a gap in the dressage world. So it was a pretty cool one. You also launched a new challenge this year. So for those of you who don't know, Amelia does 2 challenge programs a year.
Sitting trot challenge.
Sitting trot challenge happened in the spring.
And then get your horse round.
And and then it was our 3rd year for 30 days to round in September, which is pretty cool.
We gave away $20,000 in prize money.
Yeah. So not very many horse shows can say that, let alone educational programs. So.
It's always fun. I love the challenges to see, like at the end of the challenge, we watch hundreds of videos. And then we pick out the top winners, and it's so fun. It's fun to see all of your arenas and your horses, and like you're working so hard, and to see the improvement.
The effort that people put in is
it's unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable.
Well, and I think what's important to remember about the challenge programs, it's not the best person who wins. Like you said, what happens is if you don't know about the programs, at the beginning of the month, you take a video of where you're at, doing a bit of, sitting trot or whatever it is, roundness, whatever we're judging on. You do a bit of your normal ride. Then there's a program usually with about 60 videos in it, and educational videos that build on each other. Then there's
might be an overstatement. Not
50.
But we do like live training.
And there's live training.
But there's
so
training, there's
lectures.
videos and questions and Q&A and all of that.
And then at the end of the month, you send in another video, and then the judges have a criteria sheet, and they score you based on like how the gaits change, how your rider position changes. The form changes slightly depending on the challenge. And then you get a number, and then it's associated to an improvement. So some people improve by just a couple points, some people improve by a huge number of points, and then that's how the winners are found and selected, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
So
congratulations to all our winners.
Yes, all of our challenge winners. Which reminds me, do you have a challenge winner that sticks out in your mind that you were like super impressed with?
I'm horrible. Like I'll remember your horse. I'll remember what you look like. Well, I'm not gonna remember names. Nicole, I'm sure does.
I don't.
Who do you remember?
I remember the little girl that we had. I don't remember what her name was. It's gonna drive me nuts. But she was about 8, and she was very cute. She was super sweet.
Who had the pony?
There was a woman in the UK who had a little pony.
Oh yeah.
Because that one changed.
Wasn't she like going in the puddles?
Was it Firebolt? No, there was Firebolt was a different pony. There was a couple ones, but they're so cool to see the changes and the improvement.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the challenges are probably one of my favorite programs. Do you have a favorite program that we did this year? Should I remind you, we did advanced groundwork, which is like the PF and in hand one.
Okay, my favorite program is the training scale. That is by far my favorite program because the training scale program, we always run that in the summer, and it's like a super intense, and the training scale, which is actually what we're talking about tomorrow morning, it's such a fundamental part of your training. Like, and especially if you ride alone and you don't know what to do, or if you have a horse that isn't trained, that's like your guide. That's like your light. So that's my favorite one.
How about you, Herman? Did you have a favorite one?
He doesn't even know.
I don't know what they are.
You're gonna get more involved.
Yeah, I guess that's for this year.
You know 30 days to round.
Yeah.
You do. I make you watch all those videos.
Yeah.
I know, but
You're more involved in Strides, to be fair, which is the continuing education program that happens all year round, which is fair, right? But I think my favorite program, since no one asked me, is Flying Changes. I think
that's a fun one.
I think it's a really well thought out program, and what I also like about it is that you don't necessarily have to be doing the flying changes to benefit from it. The canter work in it is really good too.
It improves the quality of the canter. I mean, as Amelia's going through these programs, we talk about it. You know, she knocks ideas around, and then I don't really see the final product. I'm just kind of there next to her while she's working it out, talking to her, and then next thing I know, there's all this response from the video she made.
Well, our little Luddite here is going to get his own learning account, and he's going to.
I got my own.
And
what did I get?
Videos.
I got my own Dressage Academy account.
Yeah, Amelia's Dressage Academy. You're like an official member. You can go in there and you can learn.
I did. I went on and I looked at stuff.
You did?
I once.
Oh.
But now I forgot my password already.
Oh no. There is
just email support. We have a great support staff over there, Lexi and Neve. They're incredible for my team. I'm sure they can help you out. In fact, they'll even get on a call with you if you need.
Okay.
I got the email and I logged on, and now I forgot my password.
Well, you can always reach out to support.
Okay, you got to play to your strong suit. So Herman is like a wonderful wife, and he goes shopping.
I go shopping.
He folds the clothes.
When everybody got here today, the house was clean.
Yeah, I am like not the most organized person, so I am very grateful for his support.
And what's even better is now that I've been here for a while, it's starting to seep over to me too. He went and bought me chicken nuggets today, which was very exciting because I was here the other day and I didn't have anything to eat.
Yeah,
so
I texted him because I knew he was going to Costco. I was like, "Could you get some chicken nuggets for Nicole?" And he was like, "What did you say?"
You needn't tell me it was for Nicole.
Because I don't really eat chicken.
Anyways, we're getting off topic. We've got two more things on my list.
Okay.
We can let you guys go. So the other thing that we did new this year was ride tests. So this was a Strides exclusive.
Starring our judge, Nicole.
Well, yeah, and Herman did a few of them. So what this is a little bit like video review, except there's a little bit different format. And the idea is that you're at home, you pick a test, and you film it from at the end of the arena, like the judge, like the videographer is the judge. You ride your test, and then you submit it in to the ride a test session. And then whoever's the judge, whether it's me, Herman, we had Jane do one, and then was there someone else that judged? I feel like there might have been
Nick judge one.
Maybe.
I think she did.
Maybe. I'm sorry, Nick. I forgot that. You can Nick's here. Let us know, Nick, if you did one. And then what happens is on the call, the rider who submitted their video is the scribe, and then the judge judges it. You write it down, and then what happens is you get a few minutes to talk about what you did well, what you need to improve on, and then you go home with some exercises based on that to improve your test. So it's a really cool thing. And so what I'm excited about is we're going to expand on that this year. So we still have to flush that out a little bit.
I was going to say, do we have a plan for that? It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it was basically we talked about it today. I was like, I have some ideas, but we're going to talk about it after boot camp because we need to focus on boot camp. So that was something new that we had done. We weren't sure if people were going to like it, and they all we had to add more sessions because more people wanted into them. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we had done one or two informal ones before this, but the other thing that we brought into Strides, which is new, is the guest speakers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those were great.
Those are great.
Those were great.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite?
Stefan. Everyone said Stefan, but they were all like so good.
Yeah.
What do you-
Mike was great.
Mike
Mike
was a-
Osinski, he
yeah.
was
He was
great.
great.
He's the Olympic judge, so he talked about judging at the Olympics. Nicole actually interviewed him,
Yeah.
and Nicole did such a great job interviewing him because she's a judge, and so she asked him like all the behind the scenes stuff.
I was fangirling a little bit, not gonna lie. And plus, I'd been like trying to pin him down for 8 months before that session. We're dedicated here at Team Amelia. But the other one that was really popular was the Hillary Clinton one.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I
And
went to actually one of her lectures at one of the conventions here,
Yeah.
and she's great.
and then
Just great.
Andrew McLean was also another popular one.
Yeah, he was good.
He's like one of the top equine animal behaviorists in the world, and like he also does a whole bunch of work with elephants, which is super cool. He's really big. He's like one of the fathers of equine behavior, so it was really cool to have him on. I was fangirling a lot on that one as well. And Jane did one. She's a senior level judge on the training scale, and then there was tons. It was awesome, which is so exciting because we've got more planned for the year ahead. So if you're in strides, and it was funny today, I was like, who could I need some names for the email. Who can we announce? And I was like, I can't announce any of them. What happens if we have to shuffle the dates or something? So we've got some really big names that we're working on, and we're so excited. But we can't.
But mum's the word.
Mum's the word. I'm like.
You need to quell the enthusiasm over there and not spill the beans.
Well, speaking of that, one other thing that happened in December, if you make any jump of educated knowledge jump that you want with this, but the other thing that happened in December of last year was that you rode with Ingrid Klinke.
Yes.
So.
Oh,
Wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But yeah, so I think I got through my whole list of everything.
That was a lot. Nicole showed me that page, and I was like, seriously?
She was
You have to
working
talk
on
about
it.
all
She
of
was
that?
working at it when we were outside.
All right. Anyways, we have to eat dinner. I have to finish my slides because 8 a.m. tomorrow morning is day 3 of boot camp. 2025, we're so excited. It's going to be just like an epic, awesome year. We are all so dedicated to education and just continuing to learn and love our horses and enjoy every day. So thank you all for being here.